Hey everybody, thanks for coming to talk with me. Today we're going to go over my Instagram Q&A. You have questions, I have answers, and those answers are my opinion only. But first, thank you people of Patreon for making this video free for everybody in the world, including people like you, and if you want to join them, it's a voluntary subscription and the link is in the description. Andy Duran Jazz asks, Hi Laura, I'm a musician and amateur dancer, so I don't get why 6-step instead of 8. Please, would you and Brooks explain it to me? Thanks so much in advance. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Andy, this is such a good question. I remember I was in high school and my two best friends who were super into swing, I didn't know anything about it at the time, but they were teaching me single time 6 count, which is that step, step, rock step, 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 rock step, very enthusiastic. And I remember thinking to myself, they forgot 2 steps, those poor guys. It made no sense. You do get totally out of sync with the music because the music we listen to is 4/4 time, which means you've got a bar of 4 beats plus another bar of 4 beats. That is 8 beats. Why are we dancing in this 6? So obviously we do have 8 count movements. We've got the swing out, we've got the Texas Tommy, we've got the double tuck turn, all sorts of different things like that. But a large part of our dancing is in 6 count. And I would argue that 6 count is actually the bread and butter of the dance. It's the broth that makes the soup. You can just chill out with 6. I can't think of a good chill out 8 count move. All of those 8 count moves are pounding, forceful, swing out. You're probably not going to swing out an entire song. I mean, you totally could, and it would be so fun, but even swinging out for just a chorus is kind of rare. The best example I can think of is when Mikey Petroza and Nina Gilkinson swung out for their entire jam at Camp Hollywood 2008, and the crowd went wild, but it was more of a statement than a regular practice. But you can totally do a 6 count basic and have a very satisfying dance for an entire song. And this is a separate discussion, but if you ask a lot of old timers what the basic of Lindy Hop is, chances are they're not going to say the swing out. I've heard a lot of things, but I haven't necessarily heard the swing out. That is a big discussion. I hope to get into that in another video. Anyhow, back to your question. Why 6? A simple answer might be that some of the dances that Lindy Hop came from have that same 6 count pattern. Foxtrot, for example. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. Very similar to triple step, rock step, triple step, rock step. Or that single time swing, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. The exact same thing, but non-progressive. It stays in place. We also have a tendency to start on the rock step, that quick, quick, instead of the slow or the triple step, but that's arbitrary. Don't worry about that. So why are those dances in 6 instead of 8? I gotta say, I don't know. If you know, let me know. But I'll tell you why I appreciate the 6. I think it allows for flexibility, and jazz itself is flexible. If you listen to a soloist, they come in early, they leave late, they bleed over the phrases. If we are only sticking to 8 counts, we are stuck in the exact same part, in the exact same place in the music. The rock step is always here, the triple step is always there, and so you have more of a limitation of how you can express yourself. If you don't have the flexibility of a 6 count to break that up, it becomes a bit more difficult to start on a different beat. And if you can appreciate how that 6 count rhythm overlays on top of that 8 count, I think it can be so satisfying. For example, if you have, I know why I waited, I know why I've been blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, good, predictable, it works. But if you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. That's kind of cool. And you also have these leftovers at the end of the phrase that can build suspense. How are you going to resolve it? We don't know. We're on the edge of our seats trying to find out. And then if you mix the two of those together, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. It can make a really cool, really full dance.
In general, I think our concern over where the one of the move is and how that corresponds to the music outside of is it on an even beat or an odd beat of the music is more of a modern invention. And to check this, let's look at some vintage clips. Warning, counting out vintage clips can be tricky because of sound syncing issues. Also, I'm not going to play the original sound because the video will get flagged. So the links are in the description, but you're going to have to count it out yourself.
Anyhow, from what I can tell, all the swing outs in Hell's a Poppin' appear to be on count 1. However, let's look at Day at the Races. The first couple, Dorothy Dot Miller, Norm Miller's older sister, and John Johnny Innes appear to be in closed position on count 7, not 3, which is where you would be if you started on 1. Leon James and Norma are in closed position on count 1. The fourth couple, Ella Rhythm Gibson, which is a great nickname, and Long George Greenidge, same thing, closed on 1, so they would start on 7. The group swing outs at the end, same thing, closed position on 1, so the swing outs start on 7. Tops and Wilda from Love and Syncopation, those are 6 count swing outs, which is just nutso. In the jam portion of Keep Punchin', it looks like the dancers are coming out in a loose swing-out contagion. Each one starts on a different beat, which is a great effect. Also, there's this great class taught by Frankie Manning and Norma Miller back in like the 1980s before they had figured out how to teach to this new demographic of people who wanted to learn Lindy Hop. It's not on YouTube, it's at the New York Public Library. Nathan Bew showed me. Thank you, Nathan. So, you gotta go to New York. Anyhow, in this class, they're swinging out on the count 7 of the music, but they're counting count 1 of the move, presumably to help the students. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. And it is nuts, y'all. The entire class is nuts and full of gems, and I wish I could tell you everything about it, but now is not the video and today is not the day. So it looks like there's not a time in the music where you need to start. And if that's the case, whether you rock step on 1 or on 7 is irrelevant. And if that's the case, it doesn't matter if you dance in 6 count because it's not going to get you off the 1 because there's no 1 to be concerned with. So I would encourage you to think that beginning a move off of the 1 is not necessarily getting out of sync with the music, but is getting deeper into the phrasing of the music in a more interesting way. Kristen Karina asks, how do I practice Lindy Hop alone? This is not the answer you want, but I think that Lindy Hop is a partner dance, and so you kind of need to do it with a partner. Not necessarily a practicing partner. You can definitely do this on the social floor, and I did a lot of practicing on the social dance floor, just trying to really be aware of what I was doing and think about the goals that I had technically for that dance or artistically for that dance. But in absence of that, I think that practicing solo jazz is an excellent option. You can practice small things about Lindy Hop, like swivels, footwork variations. You can try to build up your stamina through fast solo dancing and stuff like that. But ultimately, I think investing in solo jazz is an excellent way to invest in your Lindy Hop. It helps connect your body to itself. It helps you get used to moving to that music. Ultimately, Lindy Hop is a dancer's dance. It loves dancers that know how to dance solo. And so investing in that solo jazz will help you get there. Custom Coulter asks, how do I motivate my partner to practice? Oh, that is very hard. Man, finding a practice partner is so hard. Someone who is at a comparable ability, so you both feel like you're getting something out of the practice. Somebody who has the time, somebody who has a compatible personality, somebody who has a compatible work ethic. That group is rare. People travel across the world to find that other person. I don't know that I'm a good authority on this because I've rarely been in a place where people have wanted to practice. Now, sometimes we're going for a goal, like we're making up a choreography or something like that, and we're gonna do it at ILHC or something. But as far as just like practicing for practice's sake, that in my experience has been pretty rare.
Full disclosure, I've been dancing a long time, so I have made a lot of mistakes and have not always practiced what I'm about to preach. I have done everything wrong, and some of these lessons took me a long time to learn. Thank you so much to everybody patient enough to try to teach me.
In general, you probably know the basics, but you want that practice to be a respectful, safe place. The person you're practicing with is doing you a favor. Maybe you're doing them a favor too, but don't let that distract you. I think there should be a lot of communication, comments like, when you do this, I feel, instead of when you do this, it's wrong. Obviously, that's not going to be fun for anybody. You want to have an environment such that you and the person you're practicing with is having a good time. Probably. Some people really like self-punishment. I'm one of those people. But I don't think there are that many people out there. I think it's also helpful to give up the thing that you're used to for your partner's comfort. For example, when I would practice with somebody, I would frequently immediately give feedback after every single rep. And my partner said, no, I need 3 solid attempts before you say anything. And that's fine. That has to be able to happen. If that's what my partner needs, I have to be able to shut up for 3 consecutive tries unless my partner says, okay, now I can take feedback, or says, nope, I need 3 more consecutive tries. Try to know what you need to thrive. Try to know what your partner needs to thrive. And then hopefully, if all of that is communicated, you can make a good situation where both of you feel like you're benefiting. But if you do all of this and your partner still isn't into it, that's not a reflection on them. It's not a reflection on you. Life is busy. Life is complicated. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you're not funny enough. It's not that you're not fun to hang around with. And I know that sucks if you want to practice, but I think that that's what life is. Fortunately, there's always solo jazz. And eventually, when the pandemic gets a little bit easier, traveling to different events, social dancing, constantly. Again, that has helped me out so much. Candace Keeler asks, I was wondering if you'd ever consider a video on your personal food and exercise philosophy. Do you just dance a zillion hours a day, or do you do other exercises along with? Thanks, Candace. That makes me feel good. Liz Eileen asks, can you post a video on how you get such strong arms? Thank you. I don't love working out. I enjoy doing active, fun things. I used to dance a zillion hours a day, but that was pre-pandemic times. Now, sometimes I dance a zillion hours a day. Sometimes there's nothing for like 3 weeks at a time. And a lot of times I just have to keep myself going. YouTube helps a lot with that. Doing random Instagram dances and stuff like that. Just finding excuses to dance has been really helpful in me keeping up my practice and honestly my workout regimen. I also enjoy rock climbing. That's been super, super fun. Obviously, it's very upper body intensive. It's very strength intensive. And so it's been an exciting thing to work on. That's also just fun. When I'm not able to rock climb, I do physical therapy for my shoulder. I used to have a chronic dislocation issue, and I finally had to have surgery for it. And so I'm constantly having to keep everything a little bit tighter so my arm doesn't fall out of its socket again, because boy, is that not fun to go through. And then for diet, I'm vegan, not because I'm strong, but because Brooks is vegan. And the transition was a little bit difficult, trying to find substitutes for different things I like, but at this point I feel like it's pretty easy, but I do totally cheat for very special pastries and fancy cheese. Florman asks, your cat's favorite dance move? The feed me. She loves the feed me. Ask for it all the time.
See, not even a thank you.
Visions of Carl asks, how are you so lovely? How are you so lovely, Visions of Carl? How are you so lovely? We're friends in real life. Mirk Zavada asks, to be honest, I don't fancy aerials. Do you think that they're an essential part for professional level Lindy Hop? I think what is important for professional level... I think what's important for professional level Lindy Hop can change and has changed, and what will get you there can change and has changed. In my time as a professional Lindy Hopper, aerials have not been necessary, which is great for me because I've never been in a situation or a city with anybody that has known anything about aerials, so I do not know how to do them. I just recently started trying because I've gotten access to people that know how, but previously whenever I'd practice it with partners, it was just me hurting their backs again and again and like falling on grass. We'd be doing it in a park somewhere, you know what I mean? If you follow my Instagram, you've probably seen some of the recent failures. So no, I don't think they're necessary. If you don't like them, there's nothing that says you have to do them. But they are an important part of Lindy Hop history and part of what got Lindy Hop on the map in the first place. And I think they're fun. Fortunately, again, Lindy Hop is very individual. You should pursue the parts of Lindy Hop that you love. Andrea Gordon asks, not exactly a swing dance related question, but I'd really love to know where you get your glasses. Oh my gosh, I have loved glasses my entire life. I used to intentionally try to ruin my eyes so I could get them. These I got at a flea market in New York, and those big blue ones I got because Instagram told me about this place, Vugumi, what is it? Vugumi? Vugumi. When I get them, I have all this like fancy lighting so I look pretty for YouTube, and so there's a big glare in the lenses, so I actually pop the lenses out. So these are actually like just face jewelry, but I love them so much and I'm glad you do too. My favorite word is no asks, have you had to work on your breathing? How? I think I'm a bad breather, especially partnered. First, great Instagram handle, I love that. Second, I have had to work on my breathing. At ILHC 2019, Felipe Braga, who is an amazing dancer, and I did our classic to Sideways by Johnny Hodges, which isn't crazy, it's 225. But we have a tendency to be very hyper when we dance together, so the choreography was chock full of stuff. It was very fun. Maybe this is your experience too, but in my experience, social dancing hard can be tiring. Solo dancing hard is a little more tiring. Choreography is the most tiring. I have no idea what it is, if it's like the focus on proper execution, if it's the focus on performance, if it's the stress of doing everything right. Choreography is so tiring for me. So we're able to get through it, but we just look tired. It's at floor trials at ILHC. We're going through it and Felix Bercal yells at us, breathe. And so we started thinking about that. We'd practiced the choreography often enough where we had the brain capacity to actually consider inhale, exhale. And that did make a huge difference. And so after floor trials, we continued to practice. Obviously, we're taking it very seriously. But as we practice, instead of focusing so much on execution, we focused a lot on breathing. And obviously, sometimes the choreography was strenuous enough where our attention would be pulled from that, but we would always try to bring it back. And that really made a huge difference. And so I would say, as you're dancing, see if a little piece of your brain can be dedicated to that, especially as you start getting amped, especially as things start getting exciting. I think it's a very good meditative part of the dance, in part because even though the dance is crazy and wild and energetic and wonderful, I think that there's a certain element of cool that the dance portrays. If you look at a lot of the amazing dancers from back in the day or the amazing musicians from back in the day, they're doing a hard thing, but they don't want you to think that it's hard for them. It has a casual quality to it. And I think that breathing will help convey that. Adrienne Cecile asks, if you keep doing that with your head, will it fall off? Let's find out. Whoa! Mackenzie Summerall asks, when or if did you feel like you plateaued in dancing, and what did you do? All right, this is a really good question and a hard question. I felt like I never plateaued because for me, there were always so many things to think about, and each of those things went down so deep, and I was always trying different things. What if I held my arms like this? What if I responded to music like that? What if I responded to music like that? What if I had this philosophy on partnership or that philosophy on partnership? So I was always trying different things just to see what they would be like. And I was frequently inspired by different dances as well. This is interesting, that is interesting, that makes me want to do this in the dance, that makes me want to do that in the dance. And different dancers as well. Even if a dancer isn't very experienced, they might do a thing that is perhaps rough around the edges, but really is a diamond in the rough. There are so many different things that I want to incorporate in my dance and so many different things that I want to feel on my body. I always feel like there's not enough time. I feel like there's always so far to go. I think it's also important to remember that progress is not linear necessarily. If you're trying to learn how to fast dance or something like that, maybe you are maxing out at 225 one day and then you're maxing out at 200 the next day. That doesn't mean you've gotten worse, and it doesn't mean that you've plateaued necessarily. The graph can do this, but the trajectory is upwards. So if you don't have a nice, clean line that shows progress, don't worry about it. That's what physical learning is. It's not like memorizing a fact. It's not like mentally understanding something. Your body has to get the hang of it, and that is just going to take a while. And your body is subject to all of these different changes from day to day, amount of sleep, diet, time zone, all kinds of different things. It's learning. It needs practice. It needs love. Okay, I was thinking about it and I just thought of one other thing, which is when I started, there wasn't a big competition scene and there wasn't a big audition into different levels of classes scene yet. So perhaps one of the reasons why I felt like I didn't plateau is I didn't have external sources telling me that I had plateaued. So if you feel like you've plateaued because you keep on being an intermediate or you keep on not making it into finals, those things have less to do with you than you think, in my opinion. Those things are very complicated. They deal with everybody else on the dance floor. They deal with judges. They deal with the moments that the judges see. So don't let external sources invalidate your progress. Your competition is with yourself.
I hope you had fun and learned a lot. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, all that YouTube stuff. 50% of the money that I get from this YouTube channel goes towards organizations that support African diasporic artists and art, because Lindy Hop is a black dance, and that's very important to its identity. And remember, the best way to learn how to dance is to dance.